what's going on, everyone? So we're starting this episode here in the Nether today because today I want to build a blaze spawner. So we have one right out here, kind of over this lava lake here. So it's nice and out in the open, should be easy to build because there's nothing really in the way. So to get started with this, the first thing I'm going to need to do is I'm just going to build it out of nether brick to kind of blend in with the fortress here. So we're going to need to collect some nether brick, but then after that we're also going to need fire resistant potions and lava buckets, because mostly this farm is just pretty similar to building a overworld mob grinder. It's just a little bit different because it's here in the nether. So let's go ahead and start collecting some resources, and then we're going to get started on this blaze farm. So the easiest way, in my opinion, to get a lot of nether brick is just find one of these columns here underneath the fortress that go all the way down to the ground, and I like to just mine out the inside of it. I'll make a staircase going around the outside, so like this, so I can get up and down, and I'll just mine everything on the inside so we can get tons of nether brick. This is always how I get a lot of it, that way you don't have to farm a lot of netherrack and smelt it down for the bricks and everything, and then you don't destroy the fortress too. So if you like preserving the structures and everything, this allows you to keep your structure but still get a lot of resources. Okay, so I finished mining out these nether bricks. I managed to get just a little bit over 10 stacks. You can see from this that we just made this into a bunch of layers now. There's a couple still here on the ground, but that's fine. But yeah, so we mined out pretty much this whole column, and we got 10 stacks from this. I think we should have enough. It should be enough to cover everything we need, but if we need more, we can always just mine out another column. But now the next thing we need to do is we need to get magma cream so we can make fire resistance potions, because without fire resistance potions, this is probably one of the most annoying farms to make. But the good thing is our portal is right here next to this basalt waste biome, or basalt biome, whatever it's called. And there should be plenty of magma cubes around here, so we shouldn't have any problem finding any magma cubes. So we should be able to get plenty of magma cream, hopefully, if I can find a way for this biome to connect somewhere. But this is kind of just like the edge of it, and there's nothing really spawning here, so we might have to go down. But let's walk around here and let's see what we can find. Look at this. This plant is hanging on for dear life, is barely holding up this lava. So we made it back. I ended up finding a small little opening with some magma cubes, and we got 10 magma cream. So we're here in our little brewing area. I'm just going to put these magma cream up here for now. But now we're going to make our fire resistance potions. I actually don't remember how to make these. I'm going to have to look this up. And one thing I wish was in the game was actually a recipe book for the brewing stand. I feel like that would be such a good addition to the game, because there's so many potions, and they're probably one of the hardest recipes to remember, at least in my opinion. So I'm gonna look this up real quick, and then we're gonna make some fire resistant potions. Okay, so I looked it up, and it's actually really easy, but I realized I don't have a crafting table up here, so I need to go find one of those so I can make some bottles. Okay, so all we do is we take our 3 water bottles and put them in here, and then we take a nether wart and make awkward potions. And then once you have your awkward potions, all we need to do is put a magma cream up here on top, and these should make our fire resistance potions. And there we go, there's our potions of fire resistance. So now the last thing that we're going to do is I'm actually going to add a piece of redstone to each of these potions, and this is actually going to make them last longer than 3 minutes. And there we go, we have 8-minute fire resistance potions now. So now we're going to make 6 more of these so we can have 9 potions total, and this should be more than enough to build our whole blaze farm. Alright, and there we go, so we have our 9 8-minute fire resistance potions. For now, we're just going to store these up in here with these other random ingredients. Actually, forget I said that. We're going to take a couple of these, because the next step is actually to go back to the nether and actually get started on constructing the farm. We are going to need some buckets of lava, maybe some glass so we can see inside of it, but yeah, so that's the next part of the farm. Alright, so we're back in the nether. I only brought 4 fire resistance potions, so hopefully this is enough for now. Maybe it might be a mistake in the long run, but our blaze spawner is right around the corner here. So let's go ahead and drink one of these so we can get through this lava. And now what we're gonna do, well, we gotta take out the skeleton first. But now, okay, so I forgot these guys do have contact damage, but other than that, this shouldn't be an issue. And the way you build this is just like any other mob grinder. So we're gonna build 4 blocks high, 4 blocks below, and then 4 blocks each direction here. That'll keep all the blazes inside our area here. So let's go ahead and mine out this whole area, and then we'll start building up the box for these guys.
Oh,
Well, what do you know, guys? Sure enough, we had to die, and of course the one thing that I need the most, which is our pickaxe, is gone. I guess it fell in fire or something. A stupid wither skeleton came out of nowhere and ended up killing me. So that's great, you know, love that. But yeah, so I'm gonna go get another pickaxe and hopefully I won't die again. But yeah, everything else seemed to have survived except for the one thing that we actually needed. Alright, so we got our new pickaxe from our little villager shop back home. We also have a visitor here now. But let's continue where we left off. Alright, and there we have it. We have our box fully constructed, fully built in. This is what it looks on the inside. A wither skeleton did get in here. And I do need to get rid of these planks here. But we're not quite finished yet. We still need to add a way to collect these guys in here. But while I was building this, the hardest part actually was the floor. Probably destroying all the blocks around and giving myself no cover was not the best idea, because these guys do still inflict contact damage and knockback. So while I was building the floor, I kept getting knocked around and everything. Building the wall was a little bit easier, but I was trying to rush through it just so I didn't get knocked off the wall from these guys. But if you do want to not deal with these guys while you're building this, there's two things you can do. You can either, one, use invisibility potions. That way these guys can't see you, and you'll be able to build without interference from these guys. Or you can just build a bunch of blocks around the area to pretty much cover every spawning space. That way there won't be any spots for these guys to spawn at all. So there's no way for them to spawn and bother you, and you just build everything around that little box and you break it in the end. But I like to just do fire resistance potions. It works pretty well. The fire can't damage you, and then whenever they get close, you just kind of knock them away. You do have to watch your status effect though, just so you don't lose the fire resistance. But yeah, so now let's go get some lava and make a little collection chamber for these guys, and then this farm will be just about finished. Alright, so now I'm sure you're wondering, how the heck are we going to collect all these guys if water doesn't work in here and we can't push them around? Well, that's where all these lava buckets come in, because while water doesn't work in the nether, of course, lava does, and it actually travels as far as water does in the overworld. Lava is actually going to flow 8 blocks in here in the nether, so we can use lava instead of water to push these guys around. It's just a little bit slower than water. And then the same way you would in the overworld, where you just have them push into a single area, we're going to do the same here in the nether. So we are going to have to dig this slot down here 2 blocks. We'll probably actually go 3 blocks just to collect these guys, and then we will go from there. Alright, and just like that, our blaze farm is pretty much all set up now. The lava is going to push them into this little trench here, and then this row pushes them down here. Now the next thing is just dig a little hole down right here to collect them, and then we can start whacking at them and collecting blaze rods. Alright, so we made ourselves a little room down here underneath the farm. I'm sure you can hear them all up above, so if we fly out here, we're down in this little box, and then our farm is up here. This is our little walkway, but we'll make a more permanent walkway here in a second. But now the only thing left is to break these blocks here, and then our farm should be ready to go. Oh, there they come. And just like that, the blazes are now collecting right here. And because we used a warped slab here, this shouldn't burn, so it shouldn't be any issue. They shouldn't be able to see us anyways. But yeah, so now our farm is pretty much ready to go. They are dying because of entity cramming, but we have a solution for that too. But now we can just sit here and whack at the blazes and get experience and tons of blaze rods. So I just did a short little 5-minute test seeing how much we can get, and in just those 5 minutes we already got over 2.5 stacks of blaze rods, so that's probably already more than enough than we're gonna need. But yeah, so this is more for an experienced farm than anything. But a couple ways that you can improve this is, so if you notice when you hit them, they kind of flow up and then come back down. If you were to put a piece of cobweb here on that second block, not on this layer but one above, that'll actually prevent them from flying up and down, and you can constantly hit the blazes. However, it will take them a little longer to fall down fully. Another thing you can do to prevent entity cramming is place some vines here along this bottom layer, and because they're vines, the blazes actually can't get stuck on the top of them, so they'll always fall down. But the blazes connecting to the vines will actually help with entity cramming, so you won't be losing any blazes in here, and they'll just continuously stack up. But now that our blaze farm is all finished, now I'm going to build a little walkway from here all the way to our portal, so that way we can get to and from this spot without having to travel here through the Nether Fortress every time, because as you can see, there's already a lot of wither skeletons that have spawned around here. So I'm gonna build a little, just 1 block wide walkway leading from here all the way to our portal, all the way back over there. And we have finished our tunnel here, so it leads all the way here from our blaze farm all the way to our nether portal. It does look a little goofy just because we put a top on it so we can't fall off, but this part here on the bottom is still open, so it looks a little goofy, but that's okay. I do have some more blocks to fill this in, so we'll do that eventually. But I was going to do it with nether brick until I realized how much we were actually going to need, because it does go all the way up here, all the way up here. It does run a pretty long way, so we were going to need a lot of nether brick, and considering that it almost used up my entire diamond pickaxe just on the netherrack, I think it was probably best that I went with netherrack instead. So yeah, so now we have a much easier way to get blaze rods, so we can get plenty of those to eventually go to the end. The next thing is just getting enough ender pearls for that, and then once we're in the end, we can probably build an enderman farm. So yeah, that'll be a project in the future, but for now, let's head back to the house. Alright guys, so we are back at the house, and I think the last thing that I want to do for today is add a little window onto our blaze farm. Oh, we have a visitor. So I already have the glass, but I think I want to use tinted glass just to keep like the darker vibe of the nether and the nether brick around it. So I'm gonna go grab some amethyst shards, and then we'll head to the nether to make our window. So while I'm grabbing these shards, I actually want to tell you guys kind of a funny story that happened to me recently. So I live in an apartment, right? And there's only so many parking spots, but there's no like designated parking. So you can park wherever you want, whatever spot's open. Well, the people around where I live and like our parking area, we all kind of have like an unwritten rule. We all just like park in the same spot, right? So no one takes anyone's spot, and we all just park in the same spot every day, right? So for the past year and a half, almost 2 years, I've been parking in this same spot, and the car next to me, or not the car next to me, but the spot next to me, there's no one there. It's just been an open spot, so I would park off-centered in the spot a little bit to give the car next to me more space to get in their car and everything, and then also so I can get in and out of my car pretty easily. Real quick before I finish my story, we actually have all the tinted glass we need, so let's actually go to the nether, start building up this window, and then I'll finish my story with you guys. Alright, so we're back here in the nether, so let's go ahead and make our little window. But anyways, back to my story, right? So I've been parking in this spot for a year and a half now, no issues, no problems or anything, and I would just park off-centered. Well, one day I wake up to go to work, it's pretty early in the morning, and I have this notice on my car saying that I need to park in the center of the parking spot or my car is going to get towed, right? You know, that's kind of concerning. You don't want your car towed, but this notice was very fake. It was on like half a sheet of paper on some blue piece of paper, and the grammar on it was terrible. It wasn't professional at all, and it just was clearly fake, clearly someone upset with how I was parking, right? So I knew this, and I just continued to park how I was, not worried about it. And then this person put more notices on my car. I wasn't really concerned, so then I left to vacation for a couple weeks. So my car wasn't at my apartment or anything. I wasn't parking there. Well, I get back and park just like normal, and I think the second day after being home, this person who was upset about my parking actually comes and knocks on my door, telling me that I need to fix my parking pretty much. They were so upset about it that they figured out where I lived and came up to my apartment. And of course, it's kind of surprising. It's like, who goes out of their way to do this? Who's like this upset about it? And apparently that they were saying that this was their parking spot next to me that I had been parking close to this entire time. It is a reserved spot. It's like for 10-year residents, but no one has ever parked there. So I was like, oh, this is nobody's spot. It's fine. well, yeah, some angry Karen. Well, let's see, what's a male name for a Karen? I don't know. A Kyle. A Kyle came up to my door angry about how I was parking and pretty much demanded that I park right. I fix my parking and everything. So yeah, that was kind of funny. And when I called them out for the parking notices, of course, they denied it. They didn't want to take blame for it. So yeah, that happened within the past couple weeks, and that was kind of a funny thing to deal with, just because clearly I was not concerned about them, and it was just funny how they were angry about how my parking was, or they took the time to make some fake printouts and everything, try to threaten me. But yeah, so with that being said, that was just me kind of rambling a little bit. Wanted to give you guys a little story. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode today. If you did, consider leaving a like and subscribe to my channel if you're new. If you made it this far, tell me what you think of the farm and if you might build something like this yourself. And our Blaze wants to be a part of the outro as well. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope everyone has a good rest of their day. Take care, everyone.